Welcome back to the channel. Said I was going to update this, and we are doing that now that the Olympics are pretty much wrapped up at this point. 2024 Olympians with star potential in professional boxing. Now, there are going to be more, undoubtedly, than just the ones that I mentioned, because there are obviously a lot of Olympians. We had hundreds, but we're going to focus on a few in particular. And if there were people that weren't mentioned, feel free to mention them in the comments. Just be cool about it. Here's the criteria. Can't have more than 3 pro fights. Pro boxers are allowed to compete at the Olympics. Obviously, you would think that that gives you an advantage. Some cases, yes, some cases, no. For the case of Bakhtir Jalalov, it undoubtedly does because he's 14-0 with 14 knockouts and already has an Olympic gold medal and is already ranked as a contender, no longer a prospect, and he's out here winning a 2nd gold medal. I mean, you'd prefer them not be pro at all, but we have to compromise. Additionally, the focus here is not necessarily going to be amateur boxing success. We know that that doesn't always translate to pro boxing success, and many of the great pros did not win gold medals, did not even medal, and some of them didn't even qualify for the Olympics. So it's not the be-all end-all to win the gold medal, and you know definitively while watching the Olympics there are absolutely going to be people who want bronze that are better than gold in the pros. There are going to be people who were eliminated in the round of 16 or the quarterfinals that are going to be better than their gold medal winning counterparts. And on top of that, there are some shaky decisions in amateur boxing and Olympic boxing as well. All that being said, we're actually going to start with a gold medalist, Erislandy Alvarez. He won the gold medal at super lightweight from Cuba, was a plus 1,000 underdog, and one that I liked to win the gold medal before the tournament. This is written up at Action Network, so you can go see for yourself. He beat Sofiane Oumiha, who is from France, who was the favorite going into the Olympics in this weight class to win the gold medal. Alvarez is only 3-0 with 1 knockout as a pro. He could fight on the inside. He showed off his versatility. I was just very impressed with him throughout the tournament. I was actually impressed with him before the Olympics even started. And I think that Alvarez is somebody who can be really effective in the pros. He had a real star-making performance in the Olympics. I think he was one of the pound-for-pound best boxers to compete in this year's Olympic Games. Okay, tough name alert. We have next, Yulia Szeremeta, a featherweight who competed for the gold medal. She's from Poland. She'll be 21 in late August. A surprising run to the final. Szeremeta ends up getting the silver. It was one of the best runs in this tournament. The thing about her is boxing just looks fun to her. You see her, she's dancing all over the place, hands low, which, you see that in the amateurs. She has really good head movement. She's quick to counter. She'll high step. If she's in front of you, she'll bait you into throwing a straight left hand. If you're a southpaw and by the time you've committed, she's landed a right hook flush over the top or a straight right hand. She has a speed and a charisma about her that I think could benefit her well in the pros if she does in fact turn pro. And she's also very young, so there's obviously more upside there you can project in the future. This next one is an obvious one. If you watch the Olympics, men's welterweight, Marco Verde from Mexico, 22 years old from Sinaloa. He won the silver medal. He's a 5'11" southpaw. He's going to be a marketing machine. Like, whoever signs him, whether it's Top Rank, whether it's Matchroom, whether it's somebody else, he can absolutely be pushed to be one of the future faces of Mexican boxing, given that he's the first Mexican to get the silver in 40 years. He showcased some Mexican style boxing. He also showcased a little bit of defense, and the frame, the potential power that's going to be there, the size, how he looks. He beat Lewis Richardson, who was a popular fighter from the UK, in the semis in what was a really good run. He can be a star as a pro. You just kind of see it. You watch him, you see it. And whoever signs him, I just think they're going to push the shit out of him. We will stay with the young welterweights with Omari Jones from Orlando, Florida. 21 years old. He'll be 22 in November. He's going to be pushed, I think, immediately after he's signed, because he is the only American Olympian who medaled this year. He's 5'11", he's orthodox, but many thought, myself included, that Jamal Harvey would actually be the American to go the furthest in the Olympics. He was eliminated in the quarterfinals. Omari Jones actually medaled. He's instantly marketable. You could see Top Rank signing him right now, like they did with many other Olympians in the last run. Counter-punching style. He can pick guys off from range. He has a nice jab and a nice straight right hand. He looked very controlled as well. I liked his range. I liked his speed. And I think that he's somebody you try to sign immediately and push him. This next one is an obvious one if you watch the Olympics, or if you just know that the Olympics happened because you've heard the story before. Amani Khalif, who won welterweight, sticking with the welterweight theme, gold medal in the women's division. She is 25 years old, from Algeria, has one pro fight already, a stoppage win, which I don't think I saw reported anywhere because people who were complaining about her don't actually follow boxing and know what's going on. But it was a stoppage win over a journeywoman, otherwise has only fought in the amateurs. She made a real leap from her 2021 Olympic performance where she was eliminated in the quarterfinals by unanimous decision against eventual gold medal winner, now two-time gold medal winner and retired Kelly Harrington. Didn't have to fight the favorite this year, Busanaz Sermonelli, which I would have wanted to see just to see how she does given the leap that she's made. But Sermonelli was upset by Janjim Suwanapang, who Amani Khalif shut out in the semifinals. Khalif is skilled. She uses her range. She has a nice jab. She has some pop as well. Could fight off the back foot. We know all the women's weight classes are vastly improving. Welterweight is one that has some really good fighters at the top of it. Natasha Jonas, Sandy Ryan, Michaela Mayer now, who's moved up. Amani Khalif could be a fixture in that weight class, I think, right away. Like, not necessarily her next fight. It'll take a few fights, but I don't think she's going to be like 20-0 before finally getting a title shot. I think that she can get there relatively quickly. She has pro skills. And this is part of being a star. In terms of Khalif, she elicits strong reactions out of people. Because if you've been following along, there are a bunch of people who think that she's a man. And she's not. She's not. It's never been verified. You can do your own research, but she is a woman. This has been proven time and again. So she goes out, wins the gold medal, and she looks like she could be headed for stardom. Let's mention a few others and we'll wrap up here. Jamal Harvey, who I did mention, he's American, so he obviously has a little bit of a cheat code there in his corner, but you also see the pro skills. This is something I liked going into the tournament. He ends up going to the quarterfinals, he loses, but the counterpunching ability, the speed, he is a featherweight, so that's going to be an interesting weight class to sort of come up in. It's entirely possible that he still may end up being the best American to come from this Olympic class. It's not necessarily somebody who medals. We saw Duke Reagan win a silver medal last Olympics, and I think a lot of people are already questioning him. I think Jamal Harvey could still be the best from this weight class, though I think Omari Jones, as previously mentioned, could be very good. Jamal Harvey also 21 years old, so that works in his favor as well. I'm not off of the Busanaz Sermonelli train. I think that she didn't have the performance she ultimately wanted in these Olympics, but she did win a gold medal last Olympics. She does have world championships, European championships as an amateur. The pedigree is sick, and she's still just in her mid-20s. She's a welterweight. If she does turn pro, hell, there's a fight in the future with Amani Khalif that would be interesting, but I still think Sermonelli could translate into being a really good pro despite what we saw in these Olympics. Particularly, she still has a great amateur pedigree, and she lost the fight in the Olympics. It happens. There were a ton of upsets in the Olympics this year, and I think many of the favorites who lost could still turn around and become good professional boxers. I would say the same for Tamara Tabalt, who lost her round of 16 matchup in a debatable decision, we'll say. Has all the southpaw combinations, as I've mentioned in a previous video. Can pick you off from range. Looks like she'll have some power that'll translate to the pro ranks. If she decides to turn pro, she's in her mid-20s. I think if she decides to turn pro, she could be a star and easily marketable. Couple more, Junior Alcantara Reyes, who is Dominican, bronze medal winning flyweight, who is 19 years old. I believe going to be 20 in October. Very, very fun and charismatic fighter. Was counterpunching from range. He's a southpaw, and he would, land on his opponent and constantly raise his left arm up or his right hand up. Just show the judges, hey, I landed that shot, which, in amateur boxing and Olympic boxing, it may have a nice effect because some of the judges, questionable decisions all over the Olympics, but Alcantara looks really good. I think he can be a fun pro fighter as well. One more, Asarkhuja Mudinkhujayev. Hopefully I did not destroy that name, but great amateur pedigree from Uzbekistan. And he is not somebody who has an amazing amateur pedigree and is already pushing 30, which you see a lot of in the Olympics. He's only 23 years old. Had a world championship in the amateurs, now has an Olympic gold medal in the amateurs in the welterweight division. So we've gone back to that welterweight a bunch. He beat Marco Verde in the finals, and he's going to be one of these guys who's a pro, who's going to be tough, like just one of these really tough outs. Perhaps could be a champion one day. He does have the pedigree for it and the skill for it. So wouldn't surprise me at all if he does become a world champion. Okay, that's all we have for this particular video. If there are others, I know there are others. So if there's anyone that you feel like I left out, didn't get to, I would say, instead of left out, please feel free to comment. Just, again, be cool about it. I thought Olympic boxing was great this year. I think the judging was so-so, but ultimately I think there's going to be a lot of fun amateur fighters who become pros and a lot of young pros who become better pros because of this Olympic boxing experience. And I would say that the future of boxing, judging by the Olympics, looks pretty good, looks pretty interesting. And there's going to be an influx of a lot of these fighters turning pro, I'm sure, over the next few months and years. So let's see how it helps out the sport. And hopefully we get some good fights that'll be made. That's all we have. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got more coming very, very soon. More Olympic content as well up on the channel, talking a lot of basketball. And going forward, we're going to have a lot of basketball, a lot of boxing stuff here. And also for more boxing, you could subscribe to my show, The Mandatory with Bryan and Chantel, with my partner Chantel Shan, where we talk about boxing on a weekly basis. Take care and have a good one. Thank you for watching.